Well, good morning. Nice to see you all again. Not in my vehicle today. I actually have the option of doing a little recording from another room here, a quiet room. Let me adjust this a little bit. Remember, this is a raw, unedited video. More about that in another video. Before I start, I want to say, just in the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. So, what this is basically not a what if, but when video. A little story. About 2.5 years ago, August, in New England here, we had horrible storms. There was 75-mile-an-hour winds on a August afternoon, and it took down trees and power lines, and it was a mess. So for about 30 hours, we were down. We were just off grid. No power, nothing. Fine, you can handle the heat. You just open windows, turn on the fans, whatever. Fortunately, I had some alternate energy source to run a couple fans, but other than that, we were down. So, the food storage was primary. That was okay. We cooked outside, kept the fridge shut. But, as a kid, I remember being in long outages also. It wasn't a big factor then. We didn't have technology. We didn't, if we didn't watch TV for a day, so what? I was outside most of the time anyway. But it was all about technology and, the basics. I think we still had phones. Yes, we did, because we were hardline. So we were able to call people and communicate. But this power outage back in August, 2.5 years ago, it got me to thinking, what if, exclamation point, question mark, a longer outage were to happen today, And this really, it changed the whole way I think about how we live in this world and what we depend on. And what's most important is protecting family and being safe and providing food and shelter. So about the same time, the power was out for 30 hours, came back on, everything went back to normal. People go on their way and they don't think about things anymore. And but I came across a pretty good buy at a local big box store. And everybody was thinking the same thing, you betcha. And it was a generator. And I said, you know what? I got to take another look at this. It was a decent buy. I think there was one left in the store after this incident. I grabbed it. And you know what? I think, there was some fear in me. And I was letting that get to me, and I shouldn't have. But it was my first step in a journey to not be scared, but be prepared. And I've got more videos to come how I dealt with that. Remember, most of your fear disappears when you are prepared. And world events right now, and being a spiritual person myself, prophecy says eventually something's coming along. But, in our humanness, we keep moving along as best we can every day and try to survive each day. Pressures of life, everything you have to deal with, family, kids, everything. And it can get by you. And maybe this video will help you rethink that and maybe take some steps to see what you can do about it. So I got the generator, I set it up, overthinking this again, which I normally do. And I'm getting better at that as I get older. That was my bad. You know, what if there was a major outage that didn't last 30 hours, but it lasted 7 days? The first thing that's going to happen is people who do have generators are going to be scrambling for gas. There won't be any fuel available. Fortunately, I bought a tri-fuel generator. So it can burn gasoline, it can burn propane, and it can run on natural gas. It's the best way to go, in my opinion. This is my plan A. So again, I got the generator set up and I says, okay, so let's think, what's step 2? What if there's no gas? Okay, propane. So you can have, you can pick up half a dozen 20-pound tanks of propane and keep them on property, store them safe. And that might get you through 4 or 5 days. Now, in my case, I do have natural gas in my home. Now, the problem with natural gas, and this is my plan A, natural gas eventually, if it went over a week without power in your region or area of the country, natural gas pumping stations theoretically could shut down. And that bothered me. And I said, how do we handle this? So, but it's the best option going. After 7 days, there's going to be other concerns in the world. If there's no power in 7 days, there's going to be other things to look at. But that's always a possibility. And here in New England, the biggest concern is keep the furnace running in the winter. From March to November, we're pretty good. We can live with it. We can get alternative heat source, a propane heater or something, safe propane heater. And you can get by a night or 2 nights or whatever, but you'll stay warm. But after, between November and March, it's tough here in New England. So what I did, I called our plumber and I had him run a natural gas line to the outside with a quick disconnect shut off. So I've got free-flowing fuel to my generator outside as long as the natural gas will last. And I had my electrician run an outlet input into the house that goes over to the breaker box to allow me to select which circuits in the house are going to be critical, obviously the refrigerator being one. So, I tried to cover my bases a little bit, and as I mentioned in my previous videos, last summer I spent exploring, researching, setting up some off-grid solar panels. I bought a couple of power stations. I'll have another video on those exclusively. Those can buy you some time. They can run a refrigerator, they can run a furnace, and they can be charged up by the solar panels. So that's option B or C. So, when the weather warms up here a bit, what I'd like to do, I'm going to take you outside. I'm going to video the setup of the generator, show you what I do and how I go about the process of getting it going. And I may have some problems, but like I said, I don't edit these videos. If I try to start it and it doesn't start, you're going to be with me until I get it running. Sometimes it's been sitting for a month, battery's charged, but you never know. These things happen. But I do have a spare battery just in case. So I didn't want this to turn into a technical video, but you know what? Sometimes life gets technical. But like I said, we'll walk you through it. And if you're interested and you want to hear more, just check in. Like I said, we still got, we had 17 inches of snow in January in one storm. We had another 17 to 20 inches last month. And I bet you we've only melted down to about a foot out there. And it's really not comfortable out there yet. But hopefully within another week or so, we'll be able to knock out some of this snowpack, and I'll be able to get this video going, show you the startup of my generator. So if it interests you, please check back with me often. And again, as always, I thank you for checking in, and hope you have a great day. God bless you all, and thanks for watching.